Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard emerges with people from all walks of life who, through their own unique angle, succeed and flourish. Enjoy the ride and welcome to Unique Ways, an audio podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. Got a really great guest on today. She's internationally renowned as a designer and artist, known for her bold graphics, illustrative lettering, and murals. Her work has been commissioned by Apple, Nike, Google, and is held in the permanent collection of the Cooper Hewitt Smithsonian Design Museum in New York City. Please join me in welcoming Gemma O'Brien. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Are you ready for 20 questions?
I'm ready for 20 questions.
Great. Question one, tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
Well, I'm an artist and designer specializing in typography, illustration, and large-scale hand-painted murals. And I'm inspired by language, nature, and the human experience.
Great. Question two, what's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
I'm interested in the theoretical side of what I do, not just the visual side.
Nice. Just a note for the audience, if you guys are interested in other mural episodes, check out the episode with Timothy Goodman. He's a great New York City-based muralist, I guess. Question three, why this of all things? Why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because there's something deep within me that keeps me coming back. I've tried many different avenues of jobs and obsessions in my life, and I always come back to painting words.
Nice. Some people struggle with number four, but the question is, what does your future look like?
Well, the future is unknown, and the only thing that I can imagine it is optimistic, but will require endurance and strength,
Hmm.
and everything else is up for grabs.
Great. Number five, we say is unique to this show. And the question is, let's talk about location. How does the notion of place play into what you do?
The location and the idea of place and environments has such a big role in
Mm.
my work. Not only studio spaces or where I'm creating work tends to be an extension of who I am in that moment, whether it's traveling or in a hotel room or in my studio space. Um, it shapes the work that I make, and it also becomes the canvas of what I'm creating, especially with some of the larger pieces as well.
Great. So you're starting from the beginning. What advice do you give your former younger self?
The advice I'd give my younger self is to stay true to your gut instincts and follow the weird passions and interests and incorporate that into your work and keep coming back to it. Yeah, lots of people want to steal creative magic or, transform it and use it for different things. So it takes a lot of effort over time to stick with it and to keep on creating things for yourself.
What's a day in your life like?
Every day is different, but each day at least will usually have espressos, curiosity, wandering streets to get inspired, hopefully a little bit of drawing, some commercial work maybe, and every now and then some large scale painting. But every day is definitely different.
Great. So a popular topic, lifelong learning. How do you stay up to date?
Well, I think that there's so much information available now that you kind of choose the areas where your interests intersect. For me, I love listening to podcasts. I try to read really old books on the things I'm interested in, whether it's drawing or calligraphy or theory, and then staying up to date with my favorite artists and seeing what they're making is a great way for me to stay in tune with what's happening now.
Great. I think nine is a good one for you. It's about tools. Can you talk about your use of digital and analog tools?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm an analog girl at heart. I always start with a pencil or with brush pens and ink, working with paintbrushes and paint. But then I also incorporate a lot of digital tools. So, working on the iPad or on a Wacom tablet, often digitizing things in Photoshop. I weave both analog and digital and go back and forth between the two. Um, pretty much throughout my practice. I'm very reluctant to let go of those analog processes and think it'll be something that will stick till the end.
Mm. Halfway number 10, how do you deal with work life or life work balance?
You know what? This is something that I have thought about at different stages of my life, and I think I will continue to think about in different ways. There's been times where I've completely abandoned the concept and it's just all merged. Like every part of my life is an extension of art and work. And then there's other times where I've realized that's not conducive to having, strong relationships with friends and family. And so I've, attempted to have boundaries around it. But I think it changes depending on where I'm at or what I'm working on. And I think friends and family are like the most important thing outside of art. And so finding a way for it to all gel is great, and finding ways to wind down. I like to run and be in nature, be in the ocean as ways to relax between working.
Great. So 11, if you weren't doing what you do now, what might you be doing?
I wouldn't mind being a location scout, or I wouldn't mind training to go to space, something really crazy, left of field with a lot of energy and surprise involved.
What would you not like to do with your career?
Ooh, that's a good question. I wouldn't like to ever stop. Like I'd like to always maintain some connection to creating, even if even if it changes over time, which is natural, I think, as your career progresses. And the nature of, I think the design industry and advertising, like it is a very trend-based industry. So you do need to adapt. But I think that adapting what you already do as you grow older and, form different communities is great. And I think I just never want to lose my connection to art.
Hmm. Do you have a favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Hmm. The very first quote that I have stored in my notes on my phone is everything is more beautiful because we are doomed, which is Homer. And I like it because I'm very optimistic, but I'm also like deep down a bit of a cynic with a dark sense of humor. So I love that quote. And I love writing any words that have that kind of transcend language, like culture. Like the word love is, it seems so corny, but people know what it means. So there's something about the power of like a word to persist over time and
Hmm.
have a positive valence. And so, yeah, I've probably been commissioned to write that word the most as well. So it's ingrained in me.
How about a least favorite word, quote, or sentence?
It's probably anything that has letter forms that just aren't like visually pleasing. Like so many typography projects work well if there's symmetry in the way the words look. So anything that isn't symmetrical, it's a very nerdy answer, but no specific words or phrases.
You're choosing one word to describe yourself. What word do you choose?
Ooh, sunny,
What keeps you up at night?
sunshine.
Oh, what keeps you up at night?
Hmm. I used to be nocturnal. I think feeling like I want more time in the day is what keeps me up at night.
Hmm. What's a dream you're chasing?
To name a part of the brain, to link neuroaesthetics and this new world of consciousness to my existing practice. And I don't know what that looks like, but I'm chasing it right now.
Last few here. What inspires you?
I think everyday people inspire me. Like I'm often taken off guard by having a conversation with someone making my coffee or someone on the street. And if you continue to ask everyday people questions, it's like it can be very inspiring. That and discovering new plants in nature.
Number 19, any advice you'd like to share?
Just keep going, and that creating art is, it requires a lot of energy, and don't give up, whether it's just for you or if it's in your profession. It can be very enriching, and I think, yeah, it requires persistence, but it's worth it.
Great. And finally, number 20, How can our listeners keep tabs on you, and what's our call to action?
Okay, you can keep tabs on me through my website, GemmaO'Brien.com, on Instagram, Mrs. Eves 101. And my call to action is keep going.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on today. Took some work to arrange it, and I think it was worth it. So thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks. And thanks for accommodating the last minute change as well.
If you liked today's podcast, I encourage you to have a listen to other episodes. You can easily find them at uniqueways.ca or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on social media. And thank you. It's you that makes these great, and it's you who these are for. Stay tuned for more unique ways.